If asparagus kind of scares you, this video is for you. Today I'm going to show you how to cut asparagus so that way it tastes delicious and it's not stringy. Now, if you have picky eaters who are kind of afraid of asparagus, then make sure you watch till the end of the video so I can give you tips and tricks on that. Hi, my name is Carrie with eatingonadime.com, and we're on a mission to help families eat well on a budget. Now today seems like a no-brainer, but if you've never really made asparagus at home, there's some little tricks to make sure your asparagus tastes delicious when you cut it, or there's tricks to cutting it to make sure that it tastes delicious. Now the very first thing we gotta do is we've gotta go and wash and rinse these off. It's really easy to rinse off asparagus. I like to do it under running water and paying close attention to what I would call the bumpy ends, because that's where dirt can get stuck in. Now on an asparagus, you're going to find two ends, a wider, really tough end, and then you're going to have, the flowery end. The bumpy end is what my kids used to call it when they were little, the bumpy part. So what you'll notice, there's two ways to know where to cut. We want to get this hard part off of the asparagus. So it goes from white to green, and right where it turns from white to green is where you want to cut. That's one way to know. That way you can line them up and know. But if you look at this, there's a lot of green on there, not a lot of white. So you're like, where do I cut? Because it's still tough down here. So there's like a snap test where you grab the end to find where to bend it, to find where to break it. Because where it breaks, oh, that one's not gonna be friendly to us. That's where you know where it gets more tender and easier to eat. There we go, did you see that snap? Now, once I've done a few of those, then I'm going to line them up and just do a quick run of my knife using my large knife. This is my favorite knife to cut vegetables with. It's hardy, and you wanna make sure you cut on this part, the thickest part of your knife. If you're cutting down here, you're doing way too much work. Line them up and one quick slice, and you've cut the ends off. Now, if you are roasting and baking or grilling or frying, this is perfect. You can just be done. Season them and they're ready to go. And so that's the easiest way to cut asparagus. However, there are more ways that you can cut them to make them taste delicious every single time. Now, one way, there's several different ways. One way is some people will just cut it in half, and that works great. This is perfect for broiling it. Another way is, remember we've already cut off the hard edge, is cutting it into thirds. And this gives you a little bit smaller piece. And this is great if you're trying to saute them with other vegetables, or if you're going to stir them into a casserole, or if you want to just roast them with some other vegetables as well. So we have cut them in half, cut them in thirds. And the last way that I really love, if you have picky eaters, or if you're doing a casserole, is to cut it in half and then cut it in half again. So now you're cutting it into fourths. And this gives you the perfect bite size every single time, and it tastes delicious. Now, when you go to a restaurant and you have asparagus, sometimes you'll notice it's a little stringy and not that great. And that will happen often when you're using the longer asparagus. Still delicious, but if you have picky eaters, the stringiness they don't like it. And so that's why I wanted to give you multiple different options. The smaller the piece, the less stringier your asparagus will be. However, when you cook your asparagus, the smaller the piece, the faster the asparagus will cook. So keep that in mind, because there is nothing worse than mushy asparagus. Give me a heart if you agree. So anyway, that's how you cut asparagus. It's really easy, and it's a great way to change it up. You don't have to have asparagus the exact same every single time. Speaking of that, we have some of the best asparagus recipes on eatingonadime.com. We will include some recipe links in the description, but you can also just go to eatingonadime.com, use our search feature, and search asparagus. And you're going to find bacon wrapped asparagus, pan fried asparagus, roasted asparagus, and the list goes on, and they are delicious every single time. And that's how easy it is to cut asparagus. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope this tip helps you, be able to cook well on a budget. Make sure you like and subscribe so you don't miss any more of our family-friendly recipes and our money-saving tips and kitchen tricks. Thanks so much, and I will see you next time in my kitchen. Bye, friends.